Hello and welcome to this JNUC 2021 hands-on lab. My name is Mathieu Castel, a systems engineer at Jamf. As you can maybe tell with my accent, I'm French and based in Paris. I'd like also to thank my colleague Matt Taylor for making this session happen and for all his help on this session, especially on the remediation script that you're going to discover in a minute. The topic of this session is how to isolate and remediate with any security incident while preserving Jamf Pro communication. A popular remediation workflow consists on blocking any network connectivity after a threat is detected. To perform this, we are leveraging the integration between Jamf Protect and Jamf Pro using the analytics and the smart groups. However, you maybe wonder why and how we could leverage those mechanisms to continue monitoring your devices while you're looking to remediate the threats. So it all started with a challenge we had in the European systems engineering team at Jamf, and we are very happy to share with you this new workflow. Today, you're going to learn a lot and experiment interesting capabilities of Jamf Protect alongside with really cool native mechanisms of macOS that you may already know. First, we are going to discover how macOS interacts with network security and firewall interfaces, and you will see which mechanism we decided to use for this workflow. Next, we are going to trigger a full remediation workflow with Jamf Protect and the scripting capabilities of Jamf Pro. This script is going to block all the network capabilities in and out on macOS computers. To perform this, we are going to use the macOS packet filter, or PF, that I will introduce in a minute. And finally, this script will allow Jamf Pro and APNS as network exceptions. Of course, after doing that, we also may want to restore the connectivity, which we will do at the end of the lab. There are various types of solutions we could leverage on macOS to modify the way network connectivity behaves. The most obvious is macOS Application Layer Firewall, or ALF. While this is a powerful and quick way to deploy feature manageable with configuration profiles, it could be too limited for what we are trying to achieve, which is blocking all network interfaces. The second one that most of you may already know is the hosts file. This is extremely powerful and customizable, but it lacks some features like ALF. I won't go too deep into details, but in a nutshell, we miss some wildcard abilities. We could also use a proxy pack and a third-party tool like Little Snitch or Lulu, but we really want to keep native with macOS, so everyone can use it right out of the box. This is why we choose a combination of packet filter, PF, and ALF. It requires scripting, but it's quick to deploy and very efficient. Packet filter is a way to control the macOS network connectivity. It is similar to IPFW with even more features. PF uses rules located in what we call anchors. Those anchors are located in /etc/pf.anchors. What is really cool with PF is that you can customize IP ranges, DNS, ports for out and in connections, and network interfaces as well. We can create dynamic ranges using macros and tables. You understand now why this is a great tool that could help us to perform exactly what we want. If you want to learn more about PF, I highly recommend watching this session from MacAdmin's conference in 2016, simply called Packet Filter, that you can find on YouTube. Now let's take a look at the full workflow. First, we are going to trigger a threat or an analytic that Jamf Protect will detect. Next, we are doing a simple Jamf Pro remediation based on an extension attribute and a Jamf Protect smart group. This triggers a custom script that we are providing. This is where all the magic happens. It sets up everything for you, DNS, IP, Jamf Pro ranges, and it creates all the PF rules and anchors while enabling the firewall and alerting the user using Jamf Helper. The result is immediate. All the network activities are blocked, excluding Jamf Pro servers and IPNS. This means that all the Jamf Pro activities continues to occur in the background. You can perform a recon, execute policies, use the self-service, send MDM commands, and even deploy packages. Once the Mac is remediated, you can then release it by simply redirecting the user to the self-service. Once the incident response actions have taken place, and we are ready to restore the network access, we can simply change the extension attribute rundown in the device's inventory record and the user can open self-service to restore access when ready. Finally, the network connectivity is restored. Let's see how this all happens on a macOS computer in real time. First, as you can see, we have access to our Jamf Pro server and some public websites like google.com or apple.com. Let's go to Google. Yes, it's working, and Apple as well. A threat is going to be executed in a second on a Mac in the background. And after a few moments, Jamf Pro is starting its remediation workflow by alerting the user that something is wrong, and all its network connectivity will be blocked. But the user can still use the self-service to download any software or execute any policy. Here we have the alert. And as you can see in a second, all the public websites, if we go back to Google, or if we go back to, apple.com, saying everything is blocked. However, we can still use Jamf Pro. So let's go back to Jamf Pro. We have opened as well Wikipedia just to show that everything is working. We can continue to see Jamf Pro working. We can continue to go to the inventory records and see that if we go to any computer, click on search to see my computers, and you can see in the inventory record that a recon has been recently executed. Now let's try to execute a sudo Jamf recon manually. So let's fire up a terminal and execute the sudo Jamf recon. As you can see, after a few moments, it executes perfectly. So everything is collected. We are retrieving the inventory preferences. It's an inbound connection. And once we have collected everything, we are going to communicate to the Jamf Pro server all the hardware and inventory collection informations that is going to continue to update the inventory record on Jamf Pro. So everything looks to work perfectly. All the network is blocked, but we still have Jamf Pro capabilities. Once we are ready to go, let's go back to the self-service. And as you can see, we have a policy called restore connectivity. We simply click on execute, and the user can restore every connectivity. Once it's done, it's the end of this demonstration. We are going to go back in Safari and see that we can now have access to any website. So that's it for the end user experience, and as you can see, it's pretty straightforward. Now let's see how we can set up this remediation workflow. First, we need to get the full script on our Jamf Protect official GitHub. Next, we create the Jamf Protect remediation scenario using analytics and Jamf Pro smart groups. After that, we execute the remediation script alongside with the threat. We will use a reverse shell Python analytic for this example. And finally, we execute the revert script to restore the connectivity based on an extension attribute. We recently introduced our GitHub repository under Jamf/Jamf Protect. You can simply go there and find two scripts, the endpoint network isolation enable and the revert one. Don't hesitate to check this repository out. There are many useful resources for Jamf Protect. Once you've got the script, the first thing to do is to enable in Jamf Pro the Jamf Protect Smart Group extension attributes. You can find them by going to the Jamf Pro settings and the full Jamf Pro settings. So we go to the computer management settings, and then we go to the extension attributes. Then I already have one, so you can create one from the template. So we have many categories, but we have one called Jamf application. So just go to that category and you go down back to Jamf Protect. We have many for Jamf Connect, for example, and we have one called Jamf Protect Smart Group. Just click Save to enable that extension attribute. We'll use it later. In that second part, we go to the scripts and we create a new script. So what we are going to do is put a display name, whatever you want. At least it's going to be helpful for you to find it later. You can categorize it if you want. So I created one for Jamf Protect and just simply copy and paste the script you've downloaded from GitHub. And we will also create one for the enable and one from the revert. And finally, we will connect all the dots. We have to create 2 smart groups, one that must match with the Jamf Protect analytic. So in this example, I'm using the reverse shell Python analytic. I simply checked the box Add to Jamf Pro Smart Group in Jamf Protect. So you can find that in the analytics. Select any analytic you want in Jamf Protect. So in my case, I will find the reverse shell Python. And once I found it, I go to Update Actions and click to Add to Jamf Pro Smart Group and make sure that the identifier matches with Jamf Pro. Next, we create another smart group called Restore Connectivity. And for that, I chose as a criteria an extension attribute called Restore Network that matches with true. So it's a simple pop-up menu extension attribute. Next, we create our 2 policies, one to execute the script that has a custom trigger called protect, and we use the reverse shell smart group. The second one is our revert script that executes within the self-service. So I created an extension attribute and a smart group specifically for it, but feel free to customize according to your own workflow. Once all of that is set up, we simply execute a thread on the Mac, and you should be blocked while Jamf Pro capabilities are maintained. And that's it. Now that we have seen the full process, you will be able to experiment the hands-on lab right after the session. Thanks for your attention, and I wish you a very good JNUC 2021. Feel free to reach if you need any more information regarding this workflow or Jamf Protect and Jamf Pro in general. Thank you, and have a great week.